Yes, I'm Graham Scott. I'm a former Secretary of the Treasury in New Zealand, and I've worked in many developing countries, including more recently a lot of fragile states around the world. And so I've come to the conference to learn and to share my experiences with working in these countries. Well, it's a problem in all fragile states, but the solution to it is to have a proper human resource plan in the major ministries and to decompress the salaries so that you're not trying to pay somebody with a foreign degree in, let's say, economics, the same amount of money that you're paying a local person who has just a high school education. I realise that's politically difficult, but that's what you have to do. To create the margins that enable you to hold these people in. Otherwise you lose them to the NGOs or the international organisations. You just begin to get something going and the key person's gone. So you simply have to address that problem by whatever means you can. Well, the procurement laws that are around the world have been developed by the international organisations, and that includes the World Trade Organization. They're designed to really meet very high standards of fiduciary control, and it's very difficult for fragile states to just manage the complexity of these things. So what needs to be done is to find a simpler way of doing it which still meets good standards of fiduciary control without loading these countries down with really complex systems of procurement that can take months or even years to get through. Absolutely, and I realise there is the problem of long-term advisors becoming a key person risk, and when they leave nothing behind. But I think if each of the ministries in these countries is to develop a proper human resource strategy and plan for their capability going forwards, and then place the long-term advisors within that with incentives that they must leave behind the skills that they've learnt, and I think that can work. But it would be very dangerous, I believe, to just have a doctrinaire rule of thumb which says you don't want long-term advisors in these places, or you just wouldn't get the work done in many of them. Well, it's always going to be difficult. Donors talk about coordinating, but the reality of it is that they've all got their own accountabilities back to their own governments. They are not really in a position to be able to negotiate away those requirements. They have to live with them. But the best way to think about it is to strengthen the ability of the local ministers to develop their strategies and their plans and support them in that, and then place the donors into that framework so that the government is getting better at asking for what it wants, insisting on what it wants, rather than just having to react to a shower of proposals coming at it from different donors with different agendas.